I'm Corinne Hardcastle. I'm the licensing officer presenting the application today.
Thank you. Rebecca.
Yeah, good morning. Rebecca Siddell, legal advisor to the panel, and I also have my colleague, senior lawyer Carol Haynes, sitting in on this one. Thank you.
Carol. Hi, Carol.
Morning.
Frankie's hi. Frankie's already introduced himself, so I'll now move on to Sarah.
Hello, Sarah Booker-Lewis, local democracy reporter for Brighton and Hove, representing the majority of news media in the city.
Thank you. And finally, on to Graham and presumably your client. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Good morning, Councillor. Yes, Graham Hopkins from GC Licensing Consultants, and on my left is Mr. Florent Guillaume, the applicant.
That's great. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, first of all, I will ask Corinne to present the case from the Licensing Authority. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everybody, again. This hearing is for an application for a new premises licence for Loro's Cafe, situated at 66 Lewis Road, Brighton, BN2 3HZ. The application proposes that the business will operate as a cafe bar with service of food by dine-in, customer collection and home deliveries, and I will leave the applicant and their agent to explain the proposed operation in more detail. The sale of alcohol is proposed Mondays to Sundays from 11 a.m. to 2300 on and off the premises, with opening hours from 7 a.m. to 23:30. Two representations were received from a resident and the licensing team. The licensing officer who made the representation on behalf of the licensing team is unable to attend the hearing today, but wishes to maintain their representation. The representations contained concerns relating to the licensing objectives of the prevention of public nuisance and the prevention of crime and disorder, and these representations can be found in Appendix C at pages 33 to 36 of today's papers. The applicant has described in their operating schedule the steps they intend to take to promote the licensing objectives, and these can be found in Appendix A at pages 27 to 28, together with a dispersal policy at pages 29 to 30. Additional conditions were agreed by the applicant with Sussex Police, and these can be found at Appendix E of today's agenda, which is pages 37 to 40. The Environmental Protection Team did not submit a representation, subject to the proposed conditions under the licensing objective of the prevention of public nuisance in the operating schedule being placed on the licence if granted. The premises sits within a special stress area, which is stated in our statement of licensing policy, is an area of special concern in terms of the levels of crime, disorder and public nuisance experienced within. New and varied applications for premises in the special stress area will not be subject to the presumption of refusal, but operators will be expected to pay special attention when drawing up their operating schedules and to make positive proposals to ensure that their operation will not add to the problems faced in these areas. Appendix A of the Statement of Licensing Policy sets out a list of potential measures the licensing authority may consider be appropriate. These may be more or less appropriate depending on the style of operation applied for. These measures can be found in today's agenda on pages 23 to 24. As the panel will be aware, the Statement of Licensing Policy includes a matrix approach for licensing decisions, with provisions for a terminal hour for all classes of licensed premises in a particular area, recognising the diverse operations and different risks presented by those premises. The matrix provides a framework of what the licensing authority would like to see within its area and gives an indication of the likelihood of success or otherwise to investors and businesses making applications. The matrix can be found on page 11 of today's agenda, and it indicates a terminal hour for cafes in the special stress area of 2200. However, the policy is not absolute. New and varied applications in the special stress area will not be subject to the presumption of refusal, as long as the operators have paid special attention when drawing up their operating schedules. It is important to note that each application will be given individual consideration on its own merits. Many thanks.
Muted. Sorry. Thank you very much, Corinne. As Corinne said, we don't have anybody from the any special representatives from the special body. From the responsible authorities today. Normally we would go. Oh, sorry, Corinne. Would you? Yes.
Yes, it's just to add the resident had indicated that they did want to attend. I don't know whether Frankie has heard anything from them at all. I can't see they've obviously joined
I have
the
not.
meeting. No, they were sent the link, so
Yeah.
Oh, right, they've definitely sent the link. Okay.
Right.
Obviously,
Yes.
the panel's got the written representation, so I must take that into account.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they, as I say, up until the end of last week, they indicated they were coming. So
What we be?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to come back to Corinne on something that she said there. You said I think that we don't operate under the presumption of refusal, and that every case is considered on its merits, which is, yeah, I understand the second bit of that. But I mean, the current statement of licensing policy does use the matrix to indicate a presumption of refusal, doesn't it? I mean, I know we've sort of discussed a new statement of licensing policy recently, and that may in the future change, but aren't we? We're currently under the existing licensing policy, so we do have that presumption, don't we?
It's, I mean, Rebecca would be able to help. Within the cumulative impact zone, there is a presumption of refusal.
Okay,
This is just outside in the
this
special
is
stress
SSA,
area, so it's so it's not quite under the same sort of regime as the cumulative impact zone, but it's still an area of concern.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. No, I got you. Thank you.
It's still exceptional
Rebecca,
circumstances, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Just Rebecca, would you?
Well, yes, it's not in the CIZ, so there's no. It's not under the special policy on cumulative impact as such. It's in the special stress area, and the matrix policy would apply. And there are notes to the matrix, and as Corinne has said, each application on its merits. But generally, the policy won't be departed from, save in exceptional circumstances. And some of the notes sort of say what some of those might be. So yeah, I think so it's really for you to consider this on its individual merits.
Okay, thank you. So unusually now, we will move on to Graham. Are you going to be speaking on behalf of your client?
Yes, Chair, I am.
Thank you. Would you like to begin, and then we can ask our questions of you?
Of course. Thank you very much. You've heard, Chair, this is an application for new premises licence for Loro's Cafe. It's a small premises located near the junction with Aberdeen Road. It's got a capacity of 42 inside and 12 on the front terrace. That is actually located on private land, so it doesn't need a pavement licence, and it's immediately to the front of the cafe itself, the cafe bar itself. So people are not on the street, and it is set back from the footpath. Mr. Guyona, sorry, I put an hour in his name, he hasn't got one. Has owned and operated Laura's Cafe for the past 3.5 years. Prior to that, the shop operated as an off licence and did hold a premises licence for off sales. Mr. Guyona previously worked in Brighton as a SIA licensed door supervisor for 10 years plus, operating at various bars and restaurants in the city. As I say, he's got considerable experience working in licensed premises, including issues that arise, including in the CIA and the stress area, and how to deal with them. And he brings that experience to his application for the cafe. I can tell members that he's also a licensed taxi driver in Brighton and has been for the past 6 years. So in both roles, he's always been a highly responsible operator and brings that considerable experience of having worked in hospitality as a door supervisor and the issues of and as a cab driver with his experience dealing with the public to this role. Business model is as a cafe bar, food available by dine-in, customer collection and home delivery. We have requested both on and off sales. On sales will be only to seated customers, seated at a table, both in the restaurant or on the front terrace. All service of alcohol will be by staff only, no vertical drinking permitted. Customers can enjoy, we're asking that customers can enjoy a drink with or without a full meal, but a full food offer will be available most of the time. Currently, we're saying until 2200 hours. Off sales, by agreement with Sussex Police, will be limited to accompany a substantial food order, which would, in my book, we would always say it has to include a main course and a side. Limited to 8 cans or bottles of beer, lager or cider, and or 2 bottles of wine. It has to be for home delivery to it's got to be pre-ordered and delivered to a genuine residential or business address. So it's not delivered to anywhere that's a public place or in the streets, so it would undermine any public spaces protection order. So it's home deliveries only. It cannot be given off sales that are not available to customers picking up an order or walk-ins. And we've also said that only toughened glass or plastic glasses will be allowed on the 3 or 4 tables on the front terrace, just to remove anybody grabbing hold of one, that sort of thing. Mr. Guerna has proposed a full list of robust conditions with his application. However, when we put the application in, we did have negotiation with Sussex Police. They raised some concerns with us. We were able to reach agreement initially on the list of conditions. There's 3 or 4 of them they proposed for home deliveries, perfectly reasonable. They subsequently came up with a choice of their wording of many of the conditions that we've offered on the operating schedule. And my advice to Mr. Guerna, which he's accepted, was that we accept the police conditions. So I would ask members, if you do grant the licence and impose the police conditions, that if they duplicate anything we've put on the operating schedule, that the police condition takes priority. The police worded condition takes priority and ours is excluded. We've had cases where both have been put on a licence and it gets a bit confusing for some of the operators. So we prefer the police to take precedence on that. They have withdrawn their representation. Members will know that under the Section 182 guidance, you have to pay full diligence and full notice of what the police say on anything related to the prevention of crime disorder licensing objective. Given Mr. Guerna has now reached a mediated settlement with the police, I would ask you to bear that in mind, that perhaps when you're considering what the police have done, it could be taken into account that he's reached that settlement with the police and appropriate weighting granted to that decision. My client is, as I say, fully aware that the premises is located in the stress area. He does know the issues arising, having worked there himself as a door supervisor and still there now, and how to deal with them. The cafe does have CCTV. However, he's going to ensure full evidential images are captured. So he's installing 2 new cameras on the front terrace, and an additional one covering the front door, specifically covering the front door to ensure that we get the head and shoulder shots, and to meet the offered standard for his CCTV coverage. But there is CCTV there already. You've heard we have submitted a dispersal policy in which the staff will be trained and required to implement it to ensure and aid in the orderly dispersal of customers at night. We're not talking about a vast number of people, as you've heard. It's a small, essentially food-led premises. The policy, I think your Corinne said it was at 29 to 30 of the reports back. That's the numbers I've got for it. Apologies, we didn't actually put the words dispersal policy on it, so I will send another copy in if the licence is granted, but it is the document at pages 29 to 30. Mr. Guerna has, as a good neighbour and a responsible operator, had the extraction system, which is mentioned by the resident, regularly cleaned. He's aware of the terminal hours specified in the matrix policies, but we are asking you for exemption to that rule. We know we all agreed that the application must be considered purely on its own merits. Guidance and policies, of course, are not the law and should be, in appropriate circumstances, we say, applied flexibly. Mr. Guerna is asking for 2,300 hours for on and off sales of alcohol. It's the only licensable activity he's requested, no request for late night refreshment or music. While he understands that you can only consider the application in respect to the effect on the 4 licence objectives, can I just remind the panel of the damage that the hospitality sector has suffered in recent years, COVID, energy costs, etc., and the fact that as of last week, the government have actually announced, looking forward, I know we can't consider it, this application has to be considered as it is now, but the impact has hit the government. They are looking to change the rules for high streets, which is where this venue is located in Lewis Road. The impact on, as you'll know yourselves, on smaller independent values has hit them as hard as it did the national chains. We are looking to improve the viability of the premises and meet the need of customers. With an alcohol licence, they will want to go out later. All right, yes, they can be there till 10 under the matrix, but a vast majority of adults would prefer to be out till 11. We don't think that with the strict conditions we've offered and the location of the premises, nobody's allowed out the back, so there's no noise at the back, that this will increase any noise or nuisance in the area. And in fact, it will prevent people wandering off to the bar over the road or the restaurants up the road. Chair, there are only the two representations you've heard, one from the licensing authority and one from a local resident. Nothing from the police that speaks for itself, nothing from your EHOs about noise, given that we've offered conditions they've accepted. We did reach out to Miss Cornell, and she did, out of courtesy, reply to us saying she was not going to be able to attend today and wants you to consider her representation. The only thing I would say on that with respect is that we can't ask Miss Lawler's absence the extent to which she considers the extra hour would impact on the licensing objectives or the stress area. She's not asking, it's clear from her representation, she's not asking you to reject the application. She's expressed concerns, which we understand, but we're saying that the application as it stands with the amended conditions with the police, the others that Mr. Guiona has obviously offered, will allow the premises to operate without causing a problem until 11 o'clock at night. The other gentleman, we did write to Mr. Lawler, but he didn't contact us. Chair, you'll be aware that even under the civil standard of evidence which applies to licensing hearings, there must be some evidential basis to points made on representations. It's clear that Ms. Cornell in her rep has, as I said, I'll cover that point, sorry, I'll dodge that one. Moving on to the resident, he's raising points about the extractor van. Now, I went to the restaurant yesterday, went out the back, stood against the fence, which is at the back of their yard between the resident's property and Mr. Guiona's backyard. He put this was at 4:30 yesterday afternoon. The ambient noise level was down, so you would have been able to hear it. He put the extractor on. I stood there with my partner and listened to it. We couldn't hear a thing. Now, the extractor is bolted to the back wall of the premises. There are residents in the flats above and either side, and not one of them has complained of vibration or noise. I would ask you to dismiss that comment because there have been no complaints made to the premises about it. And in all honesty and truthfulness, I've been doing this job for 20 years. I could not hear one sound from it. It's so quiet, you can't hear it. And he keeps it clean, so there's no smell problems either. Regarding the parking, yes, there is a red route out the front, we know that, but you have an experienced taxi driver, amongst other things, sitting with me as the operator, a man who's been working in hospitality for years. It's a family, community-friendly place. These people, the residents, are the very people who are the lifeblood of this premises, along with maybe the odd passerby. So the last thing Mr. Guiona wanted to do, or would want to do, is upset the very customer base he's hoping to attract. So yes, he will be telling and has told the courier firms that they must park responsibly. They will not be allowed to sit in vehicles outside playing loud music. They will have to wait in the cafe to pick up orders. Generally, they'll be ready. They just go in, pick it up and go. We would also point out, or I would also point out, that under the Section 182 guidance, other issues such as parking should not be duplicated onto a licence application. So I would ask you to bear that in mind. Now, the gentleman also says about noise nuisance at night. If we were asking for 1 o'clock, I could understand that and I would sympathise. We're asking for 11, everybody gone by 11:30. Full dispersal policy, staff on the door to make sure people don't hang around outside. The customers leave promptly when they finish their drinks at 11 and go home. Not hanging around in the streets, not taking in drinks with them. There'll be no off sales, as I've said. He's chosen, as this often happens, people choose to live near a high street in the middle of what must be one of the most vibrant cities in England, which is why we love coming here because of the vibrancy here. But they do have to accept there will be some noise in the middle of the city. As I said, I've stood out the back of the cafe yesterday. There was more noise coming from the premises, which is a fast food firm, because they got ducting at the back that was humming and buzzing, but you couldn't hear anything from with the back door open. You couldn't hear the customers out the back. So we do not think he will hear noise from this premises. And again, there are residents over the top, residents either side. Not one has objected. Not one of all the other residents in that area have objected. So I think, taking everything into account, we would ask you to bear in mind that he is a responsible operator, to say, addressing the issues that have been raised. We've requested what we say are reasonable hours, strict conditions proposed, additional ones and wording agreed with the police. So no police objection, no objection, dispersal policy offered. The staff will be fully trained by Mr. Kiona, who's been, as you heard, been involved in this business for a long time. Nothing adverse in the representations, even from licensing, about the operation of this cafe in the past 3.5 years. Yes, it has closed it here, but there have been no problems associated with it that have affected any of the authorities. With the conditions imposed, the policy we've got, we say and suggest to you that this could be an exception to it. It's a small number of people at any one time, only limited to having a drink while they're seated. Cafe bars are recognised as much lower risk than bars with vertical drinking and all the rest of it. We say it can operate safely until 11, and we would ask you please to consider granting the licence till 11. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Graham. Okay, colleagues, Alison and Ollie, have you got some questions? I'm sure you have.
Yes, I'll go Alison after you.
Alison got her hand up before you. Okay, Alison, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Hopkins and Mr. Giona, for the presentation. I was interested to sort of hear that you've been operating for 3.5 years. Do you presumably you haven't had off sales at this point, or you have? I think this is the thing that I'm sort of in my head. I must admit I've got a bit of a question mark over. I mean, I'm impressed with all the fact that the police are on board, and there seem to be lots of positives. But off sales of alcohol, I don't know if you could just talk me through that a bit. Thank you.
Can I do that, Councillor, for him? No, they haven't had off sales there. The premises used to, but before it became the cafe, it was an off license. So
yes, you mean
held a license before for alcohol. The off sales now will be strictly limited to a company of food order delivered by Uber, Just Eats, Deliveroo, one of those. That's the agreement we have with the police. It cannot be used. People can't go in, just buy a drink and take it with them.
No, I understand that.
They can't also pick up a food order and take a drink with them. It can only be home deliveries by a courier.
Okay. Well, that's quite good. I think one of the objections, I mean, it sort of gets me on to the next question, which is, where is the pickup for, Uber and so forth? Because it's obviously a red route outside. Is that Aberdeen Road? In which case you can see why the resident at number 3 is going to be upset. I don't know. Tell me.
Could you answer that?
There's Aberdeen Road or the Lewis Road, either.
They can't stop on Lewis Road, right? Because it's a red route, so...
There's a corner of Aberdeen Road, where the subway is right in the corner.
Yes, okay.
Of course, not the yellow line, but
off the 6.
I mean, I can see that the obviously you've gone into great depth about making sure that the cab drivers and the Uber whatevers are all going to be quiet. It's quite a difficult thing to police that, I would have thought. I don't know, if it was outside my front door, I might be a little aggrieved.
There's a lay-by opposite my shop.
Yeah.
There's a lay-by opposite my shop, so...
Yeah, they're allowed to... yes, there is. Right, I did see it myself.
It's opposite.
Look out the window, and it's on the other side of the road. I think they're allowed 5 minutes or so there.
It's just a matter of being careful crossing the road.
Yes.
So that's all.
Yeah.
So
okay. Okay. That sounds good, because I mean, obviously the you know, the objector at number 3, Aberdeen, is obviously concerned that they're going to be right outside his door. So
it's far out. It's very far out.
Okay. And then just in terms of the neighbours, do you anticipate, I mean, you know, you've obviously got a good track record, which is impressive, and you obviously haven't had complaints in the past 3.5 years. Do you think this extra hour is going to have a you know, an impact on them? Or, I mean,
I don't think so. It's like I said, it's the only neighbor who has been complaining, not just now, it's all the time. This kind of people are, you know, I'm really upset because I've been so kind to him, offering free drink, free food. You know, I even when I see him on the street, I say hello to him, and he give me this kind of face, if you know what I mean. It's this kind of people which I can't understand. I can't explain. And I met him the other day, and he come inside. He saw the structure, and when the fan was on, and it's not loud. So I said to him, "Look, it's more the next door making noise. The next door, the subway, making more noise than my structure than mine."
Right. Okay.
And he said, "Oh, it's bothering me because when I sit in my garden in the sun, it's bothering me." So excuse me, you know, I'm trying to run a business. You having a sunbathe in the backyard, and you just go in a seafront and have a sunbed, if you know what I mean.
Oh, well, I mean, I wouldn't use that as an argument, to be honest with you. I mean, if everyone's entitled to the quiet enjoyment of their own home, but nevertheless, I mean, obviously, Mr. Hopkins has said that, you know, you were there yesterday, and it does seem quite quiet. So, and that's not anyway part of what we're trying to, you know, the noise issue is environmental health, so that's not something we could consider today. Okay, great. And then I wanted to just ask about the security, because obviously you've worked as an SIA. What hours are you thinking of having an SIA, you know, on duty?
Councillor, I think we've put a risk assessment in that depending on advice received from, it's one we use across the country, but advice received from police, any events taking place locally, like perhaps Pride yesterday, and over the weekend, or more likely football or anything like that, they have to assess the needs if they need SIA. I mean, obviously, the police say you've got to have one, then fair enough. Or for the need for additional staff.
Right.
2 or 3 staff, we might have 4 or 5 staff.
So it's on an ad hoc basis, basically?
Yes.
I see. There won't be anybody there regularly?
The police haven't asked for it, so...
No, okay. All right. How many staff do you have there, Mr. Giona?
It's I mean, like, it's myself, I have the chef, 1 waiter, so it's 3. Well, I'm on and off, and then weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we get a bit busy from 10 to 2 o'clock. So again, extra stuff, so it's like 4.
Okay. And it's all been manageable up to this point without issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
They will be all right, so no problem.
Okay, great. And then there was one other last question I had, which was just about the outside terrace, which obviously you've mentioned is on private land, so that's not a problem. But I just want to ask, it does say when in use. Do you not have the private terrace open all the time?
It's up to 4 o'clock, yes. It's open.
4 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Sorry.
If the hours are extended, Councillor, then he'll use it later.
Yeah.
We're talking about his current hours.
Okay. I just wanted to check. I mean, presumably you're planning to have that terrace open until 11 o'clock at night. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I just wanted to check that. Okay. Okay. I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor.
More questions?
Thank you. Ollie, go ahead.
Thanks, Chair. I think Alison's covered the bulk of what I was going to cover. So that's great. I mean, I had the question about SIAs, which are referred to in the dispersal policy, but you've answered the question about that. That's a risk assessed matter. The outside area. I thought I heard you say, Graham, at one point that was to be used until 10 o'clock, but he's now saying it's going to be till 11 o'clock alongside the inside space. No, was there a 10 o'clock limit on an activity that I heard in your statement?
No, we were talking about the matrix hours. Because the matrix hours are 10, we're asking for 11. So we would want to keep it open, but if you saw fit to grant the licence to 11 but limit the terrace to 10, that's something obviously for you to decide.
Okay, all right. Thanks for that. There's a point in there somewhere about smoking management. I wonder if I could ask about that. I think it said sort of maximum 6 smokers outside. Is that sort of within the terrace area or on the pavement? Where are the smokers going to be?
It will be on the terrace.
That's not a completely enclosed terrace, is it?
No.
Okay,
I'd say a good 50% open. You got the sides.
No. It's 100%.
Oh, it's 100%.
100% open.
Okay, all right. So you've got no screens there. All right, fair enough. So delivery driver management, you've got the loading bay opposite. So I mean, I suppose our concern is we don't want delivery drivers on the little bit of pavement between your terrace and the road.
No. They will be required to come inside and wait for the order.
Yep. Okay. Great. And you also refer to music and shutting the windows, but you're not applying separately for music as a licensable activity. But so presumably you're planning to have the occasional bit of music, but within non-licensable hours, and you'll shut the windows.
If the license is granted, Councillor Costa, it'll be deregulated. But it's not the sort of event you're not planning to have music every week, are you?
No.
So if it was
If
specification,
birthday,
he might have it up till 10 or 11, but he knows he has to keep doors and windows shut. That it won't be on the terrace; it will be in the cafe,
inside,
so it won't be outside. And we keep the doors shut, so it's
double glazed, and
it's double glazed to keep the noise down anyway.
All the windows.
Okay.
And I can assure you, I've seen it myself. We discussed it yesterday. The ceiling of the place looks like
a bunker, yeah.
Nuclear
like
bunker.
Yeah.
It's thick.
All right.
Yeah, it's bunker.
Not sure about that as the theme, but anyway. Okay. I've no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you. Before my first question is, because I'm a little bit confused about this, is what are your current opening hours? I did look I've been looking on the internet, and it varies. What
8 to 4.
8 to 4.
8 a.m. till 4 p.m. every day.
No.
Monday to Friday is 8 to 4, and Saturday, Sunday 9 to 4.
Right. Okay. So what you're asking for quite a huge jump in your opening hours in this application.
I haven't kept it open late because obviously if you don't sell alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Just because of the coffee shop, that's why I haven't extended the hours.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody live upstairs? Do you know? How do you get on with the person upstairs?
Yes, they do. They haven't complained, Chair, as I said in my presentation, about the ducting, which is actually bolted to their back wall.
Right. Okay.
Office mountings, obviously, but no, they haven't complained.
So they're not okay. So they're not concerned. Okay. Actually,
they're all nice people. Yeah, kind of nice. You know, so it's just.
I did look at the planning history, and I see that duct was actually, granted consent quite recently. So it will be a more modern duct, and there are quite stringent conditions added to it. So I do understand what you're saying about the the lack of noise there, because it's quite a. I mean, that's one of the things that they're very strict about in planning. Okay. What other ones have I got now? Most pubs and other restaurants and cafes and things who operate late ask people to come in at 10 o'clock. So I would be, from outside areas. So that's but you said you would be willing to accept that.
Let's talk about the terrace.
Yeah.
The terrace, that's it, sorry.
The Chair's asking if you'd accept, if the panel minds to grant the licence to 11, would you accept people from the terrace going inside at 10 o'clock?
Yeah. I mean, only the summertime because it's nice. People like to sit outside, but the winter.
Yes, I think the answer to the question is yes.
Yeah. That's okay. Now you said that
there's a Lewis Road in pub opposite, because they stay late as well.
That's not part of this application.
Oh, right, okay. So
no. I mean, because you're asking for most pubs do have that rule. If there's an outside area or garden, even if it's not directly opposite or near houses, they usually ask, for people to come in and take their drinks inside. Okay, where are we? Yeah, you said that there were 42 covers internally plus 12 outside. On the plans that were submitted with the application, I counted 28 covers.
Well, outside.
No, inside.
No. If you look at the plan that you submitted, I just counted up, the tables and the chairs shown. So that's just indicative, is it? Do you normally have more?
Well, they did yesterday because they've got the area in the corner.
Yeah.
So the table
needs to be in front.
Yeah.
Move the kids in the back.
So those plans that were submitted with the application are just that floor plan with the chairs and tables on it is just indicative.
I would say so, Chair. Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
It is.
Yeah. And this is just one final comment. I noticed that you've got an application in for retrospective planning permission for the terrace at the front. Do you know how that's progressing? Have you had any?
Last week, about last week I had a phone call from the girl. Her name is Daria. Probably you know her. She's been dealing with my application about the A3 license as well. So she just said to me about do you pay for the chairs outside, or if I don't pay for the chairs outside, which I don't because it's private
property. Yeah.
And she said fine. So she said wait for my phone call now.
Okay, thanks for that. I think that's probably it for now from me. Alison, you've got another question.
Yeah, I have indeed. Sorry, I'm confused. I didn't realise you weren't open after 4 p.m. daily. That I have to be honest and say that does put a slight sort of that puts quite a twist on things. I'm wondering, when you've had the ability to open till 10, why you haven't taken that up, because I sort of thought that, I get the argument, about hospitality, that it's really difficult for, venues, post COVID and so forth, to turn a profit. But you've had ample opportunity to open for another 6 hours before you applied for this, I'm a bit confused. I wonder if you could explain, because for me to be going from 4 until 11 is quite different to be going from 10 until 11. You see what I mean?
Yeah, well, first of all, is money-wise, because applying for the alcohol license is quite a bit of money, and myself, I can't do it myself, so I also have to pay Mr.
Graham, yeah.
So, yeah, and having no alcohol, it's like I said before, there's no point to keep it afternoon. How much coffee are you going to sell? You're going to pay the staff £12-13 an hour, and I'm killing myself as well, opening from more early to late. So that's why.
Yeah, I understand what Mr. Gillon's saying, Councillor, because it is difficult. There are so many cafes around. If they don't sell alcohol, there's not the attraction for people to go and buy a meal and sit there and eat it when they can go somewhere else and have a drink with it.
Have a drink, yeah.
This is a new move, but given his background as a responsible operator, as a former door supervisor, he's fully aware of the problems that could arise in licensed premises. There won't be any.
Okay, I see. I think, all I'm saying is sorry, I slightly misunderstood, but I do understand, obviously the alcohol sales does change the perspective somewhat. But yeah, I think it's just a bit of a different slant. I hadn't quite realised. So you've not been selling any alcohol to date?
No.
Right. Okay,
No,
thank you.
They don't have any kind of, they don't have a premises license at the moment.
No, that's fine.
No.
Thank you. Thanks.
And
exciting closing. We're going to be closing.
So I'm going to say you cannot start opening only 3 nights. It's not full every night.
Yes.
Oh, it doesn't make any difference.
No. Definitely not. Sorry, it was just.
Hang on a sec. Sorry, we've got the objector waiting in the lobby.
All right.
Corin, you've got your hand up.
Yes, it's just to say they just emailed in about a minute ago to ask what time the hearing started. So I just asked Frankie to send them the link again. So I don't know if it's appropriate if they join now or not.
Rebecca, I mean, I'm happy to let them come along. I'm guessing that they did have the time was on the link, but you know, not everybody's used to getting links for these sort of meetings. I'm happy. What about Alison and Ollie? Are you happy to let the objector come through?
Yeah, I'm
yes, that's
happy.
fine, Chair.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's an odd situation. I don't know if I mean, I guess he can come in and then say something, and then, but he's missed a lot of the hearing, and we can't really repeat that now. I don't think.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we'll just have to listen to what he has to say. So, Frankie, can you? Is there still? Yeah, if you could let him in, please, or Corin, or whoever's got control of that.
Emmett is here.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, I'm here.
Hello. Oh, hello. Could we see your? Could you put your camera on, please, so we can say hello?
Sure. Hi.
Hello there. Yes. Sorry. That these meetings normally start at 10. I'm sorry that you didn't get that mess. Well, that you didn't.
No, I didn't get an invite.
I think Rebecca sent you a link.
No,
sorry, I don't send a link, but Democratic Services said they sent you a link.
Frankie sent the link. Yeah. You should have had a link from, which we always do this if somebody makes an objection to a hearing. So I'll just say I'm Councillor Julie Cattell. I'm chairing the panel, and my colleagues Alison and Ollie are also councillors, and they're the other two members on the panel. We've got Rebecca and Carol, who are solicitors, and Sarah, who is she's from the press, and Frankie, who's the Democratic Services person who's taking the minutes, and Corin is the representative from the licensing authority, and James, who you can possibly see there, is managing the webcast. So that's the thing. It's being webcast. We have heard representations from the applicant, and the three of us councillors have also asked our questions. But would you like to make your representations, and then we're happy for you to ask questions of the applicant.
Okay. Well, my main objection is the noise from the rear of Loro's. They have a restaurant extractor fan from the kitchen located the other side of the car park to my garden. The sound can be heard in my house when the windows are even closed. When I open the windows, you can just hear this sound. It's like a helicopter above the house the whole time that fan is in operation. If their license is extended until the evening, it will be intolerable. We won't be able to, I won't be able to go out into my garden. I won't be able to open my windows in the summertime. It's as simple as that. The noise is intolerable.
Sorry, we seem to have lost the applicant in terms of they're not appearing on here. Have they dropped out for some reason? Sorry about this.
Also, can we just clarify about the noise, because I didn't think that was part of this application.
No, it's
not.
It
was one of my objections.
No, so sorry, it could be, but it's not actually part of the licensable activities that have been applied for.
He's wanting to extend his opening hours, which means the noise that I will suffer will be extended into the evening times.
He's asking for sale of alcohol.
And also to do deliveries of food in the evenings. Hot, I presume. He'll be using his kitchen, and that extractor fan will be switched on.
The food can be delivered without a license until 2300 hours.
Yes, which means his kitchen will be in operation. At the moment, it closes at 4 o'clock, and I can just about tolerate that noise during business hours. But if it's to extend into the evening, that noise will make life living here impossible.
Well, I think, first of all, we need to see where the applicants have gone. But
he's fully aware of it. I've spoken to him twice.
Well, the applicant,
he didn't tell me, and I only found out through the grapevine that he was extending his license. He just looked at me, and when I said, "Look, could you do something about the noise?" I didn't even know he was wanting to extend it into the evenings.
He's not extending any license. They don't have a license at the moment. They're asking for sale of alcohol
and to operate in the evenings.
Well, no, they don't need a license to operate into the evenings.
Well, he doesn't operate in the evenings
for the sale of
currently.
hot food. They just need a license to sell alcohol.
Sorry, I think what Rebecca is saying is that they don't need. All we're looking at now is an alcohol license. They can sell.
Well, he closes at 4 or 5 o'clock every day currently.
Yes, but that's not what we're looking at here today. He can use it up until 11 anyway. Cook it.
Okay, well, he doesn't.
Yes, but he could if he wanted to.
So this is going to make him operate until the evenings, that is going to put noise on the back of the environment to the back of his premises.
He doesn't need consent to go to cook and serve food. Frankie, could you? Yeah, in the evenings. Oh, hang on.
And to do deliveries.
Yes.
But maybe the applicants
they've just come back in now. Sorry, they've just come back in.
Yeah,
sorry.
I don't know if did you, Graham, and did you hear what the resident was saying about the extraction fan? And I know you addressed us earlier on the panel earlier on that. Maybe you can comment on that.
No, sorry, Rebecca. I got my iPad decided it didn't like being online anymore. It was a bit of a struggle to get back in, but we made it. Yes, regarding the extractor, I was at Loro's yesterday afternoon, standing up against the boundary fence of Mr. Lawler's property, as close as I could get to it. Mr. Guiona put the system on at 4:35, and I could not hear a sound. The only thing I could hear.
Okay, I've got proof of it. I've taken video recordings where you can hear the change in the noise, and I am objecting to that.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. I couldn't hear a sound. I could hear the other thing. I would just point out, though, Rebecca, of course, the gentleman can't put in evidence now. We would not agree to that.
Can you advise me what I can do? Because I have spoken to him twice. You know, the noise has been on and off, but quite currently now it's got worse and worse and worse. I can hear it from within my property. It's like having a helicopter above the house. So can someone at the council please advise me what I can do to get that noise abated?
Sorry, can I just hop in here? There was a planning application in 2022 to put the extract duct in, and unfortunately the council doesn't show people's names if they've made an objection. Did you object at the time?
I wasn't aware of the application.
You should have been, because there would have been a notice outside and you would have been sent to property.
Well, I don't go checking the streets for notices.
No, sorry. If you actually share a boundary with the property.
I don't. There's a common car park between us.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, that explains possibly why. Now you can, if you feel that there is a problem, you can you can contact planning enforcement, because there is a strict condition on the noise levels of this extract duct. So we can't do.
I've taken recordings of it. I don't know who to send them to.
Yeah, sorry. Well, if you go onto the council's website and look under planning enforcement, and then there is that you can complain about.
Can I go down the noise nuisance route as well?
Well, you can, but I'm just suggesting that possibly more. You might get more action or a better result if you go to planning, because if you're saying that the extract duct is exceeding the noise levels, the strict noise levels that were set on the planning application.
It's awful.
Yeah, but sorry, if it is, has it been the same ever since it was in?
No, it's just got worse and worse over the last year.
Okay, well in that case,
it's intermittent. He turns it on and off during the day when he's cooking, and I'm sure he turned it off when he sent his solicitor around the back to listen to it.
Yeah, sorry, miss. Sorry. All I'm just saying is that you can send in a noise complaint, and you can also send in a complaint to the planning enforcement, and they will come round and check. Using the sort of proper sound meters and things to come along and check.
Yeah.
And take action as necessary. That's the two things that are open to you at the moment.
Okay, I'll check that out then. Thank
you. Just go onto the council's website on that. I do. Ollie, you've got your hands up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to say what you're saying there, Chair. I mean, I'm dealing with a very similar issue in my own ward at the moment, and the two council departments that are dealing with it are planning enforcement and environmental health. And as others have said, I totally understand your frustration, Mr. Laura, but it's not a matter this panel can deal with, because we're dealing with an alcohol license, and the applicant can already serve food until 11 o'clock anyway. So. Yeah, unfortunately we can't help you today, but the council is very effective, and I've seen their effectiveness in my own ward with a similar issue. Thanks.
Well, thank you for your advice. I shall follow that route.
Okay, thank you. Alison, you'd like to ask a question or say something?
I was just going to mention, and in fact, Councillor Sykes has sort of alluded to it, Chair, that if the resident wants to contact their councillor, then they might be able to help, because obviously Councillor Sykes doesn't represent your ward, but represents another ward. And if you go onto the council website and find out who your councillors are, they can then help with the and you can have an online inquiry. But my ward is Regency in the city centre, and I have noise issues, which I help with a lot. And environmental health are very good, and you can make keep a noise diary. And it's something that can be enforced, but as my colleagues have pointed out, this is not the forum in which we can help with noise issues.
Your councillors are Councillor West and Councillor Hill.
Thank you.
Your Round Hill ward, I think you are, aren't you? Yeah. There we go. Oh yeah, see, Frankie's put that. I'll just put Councillor Hill, and whoops, I'm just putting something in the comments. There we go. So hopefully we've given you enough information now to be able to look at other avenues to cope with your problem. Yeah.
I don't think you have.
Okay. Well, we need to move on now. Now it's time for summaries. We don't have any of the responsible authorities here, so I think we're looking at Graham for you to make your summary on. Rebecca, sorry.
So Corinne, well, as long as the resident's said all he wants to say now,
okay,
and then
Corinne, yes, Corinne, yeah.
Then it'd be Corinne to just summarise the application, and then maybe the resident to make a brief summary if he wishes, and then the applicant. Thanks.
Thank you, Chair. This hearing is for an application for a new premises licence for Loro's Cafe, situated at 66 Lewis Road, Brighton. You have heard from all the parties present and have seen the written representations. Licensing guidance states that in determining the application with a view to promoting the licensing objectives in the overall interests of the local community, the licensing authority must give appropriate weight to the steps that are appropriate to promote the licensing objectives, the representations, including supporting information presented by all the parties, the guidance and its own statement of licensing policy. It is important to note that each application will be given individual consideration on its own merits. After considering all the relevant issues, the licensing authority may grant the application subject to such conditions that are consistent with the operating schedule or have been canvassed during the course of the hearing. If the panel decide to grant the application, then any conditions attached to the licence to meet the licensing objectives should be clear, precise and enforceable. Alternatively, the licensing authority may refuse the application on the grounds that it is appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives. Many thanks.
Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to say? No? Okay. If can we move on now to Graham, or Emma, are you still there? Okay, I think we'll move on to is that okay, Rebecca? We need to move on to Graham to give his
yes, if there are no closing submissions from Emmett, then
Thank you very much, Chair. I think we said most of what we wanted to say. I'll just remind you of Mr. Yola's past experience as a door supervisor, now as a taxi driver, used to dealing with the public, used to dealing with people in licensed premises, had this premises for 3.5 years. No issues from any of the responsible authorities. The agreement with the police, robust conditions now, with even more so with the police. Conditions for off sales with home deliveries, agreed with the police. Dispersal policy, strict conditions all round that will promote the licence objectives. We obviously do not accept the comments that the residents made. I was there, my partner was there, there were two of us that will happily give a statement to the planning enforcement team and environmental health that we didn't hear a thing from Mr. Guiona's system. It's brand new, basically. It's in pristine condition. We've dealt with these other comments about parking. The people will stop in the lay-by, go in, pick the food up, wait inside, and then go. We'll have somebody on the door at going home times to make sure people aren't loitering in the area, don't take drinks with them, etc. So all in all, I would say a responsibly run premises. 11 is not unreasonable in this day and age for a premises. We've discussed at length the selling of alcohol at premises and the reason Mr. Gilno's not traded later until date. Now it's viable for him to do so if he can get the alcohol licence, and he's not losing the customers to other premises. So I would ask you to grant it, please, Chair, to the hours requested for 11 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Rebecca, is there anything you'd like to say?
Not unless you've got any questions of me, but I can see that Councillor Alison Thompson's got her hand up.
Yeah.
Is it too late to ask another question?
No, go ahead.
Sorry. No. I mean, because of all the timings and because I didn't fully understand before. But Graham, you said that you were there at 4:30, but we've already established that the cafe's shut at 4. So presumably there wouldn't be any noise at 4:30.
No, he stayed open yesterday, Councillor, because I was there. We came down from it in the afternoon, and I needed to meet Florence before the hearing today and have a look at the premises. It's common sense for me to do that, and the area where the resident lived, etc. So he did put the system on for me at 16:35 exactly.
Oh, I see. Okay.
My partner.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I've got nothing further to add unless you've got anything to ask of me. Thanks.
Nope. Okay, in that case, I will now close the hearing and we'll go into session to make our deliberations, and you will receive a response from us within 5 working days or 7 working days. It depends. 5 working days, good, because I know that there's a lot of pressure on our solicitors at the moment. So, Corinne, is there anything more you'd like to say? No.
No, thank you,
okay.
Chair.
In that case, goodbye, everybody, and see some of you in the other room. Thank you very much, Ms. Hopkins.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.